Hi everyone, we are live. Today we here with Julia from S.Lab. Oh, S.Lab. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, hi.
Hey,
So Julia is right now a very busy person this week, and uh, I've used all my manipulations tactics to get to this call. But we will talk about recycling today a lot, about how to build a future without plastic, and how Ukrainian startup can change all of that. So join us today, listen to us, watch us, whatever you prefer. We're here on right now. It's called ZAS Podcast, Talk with Startups, and if, as always, because we are from Ukraine, you need to donate. QR code is over there. You need to use it, and I will provide link into description to all of our podcasts. You know, we are reading the news. We are crying sometimes, but we need to get through this, unfortunately. So, again, Julia, hi, and I have like tons of questions to ask you today.
hello. Great to be here and looking forward to all of them.
Yeah, we already like you joined 10 minutes before, and we got straight into great conversation. I'm expecting the great hour ahead. So the first question is basically tell about your startup. Is it still startup, or it's like manufacturing business already?
Oh yeah, it's enough. We have to decide whether we are that or that. But yeah, I mean the definition of the startup is innovation and technology, and that's what we are. We are innovation in the sustainable packaging in the natural materials. So basically, we do a replacement of foam plastic, or it is also called styrofoam or polystyrene, and that's how our product looks like. And it's really similar to polystyrene. That you can see in as a lodgement, as electronics. It can be thermal insulating boxes for food, pharmaceutics, cushioning for beauty, and like boxes for fashion and decor. So basically, there is a lot of usage of the polystyrene, and especially in B2B, and we are tackling this problem. We want to replace polystyrene with a natural material, and we use only two plant-based components to replace it. One is agricultural waste, and we used to use hemp in the past. That is kind of cannabis, but not
It's hemp. It's hemp.
hemp.
I think everyone knows what hemp is right now. I
Yeah,
hope that everyone knows that it's
yeah,
not
it's been
cannabis,
very
but yeah,
popular.
basically.
Yeah, it's a very popular product. And the other one, the other component is mycelium. So it is mushroom roots. So it's kind of funny that we use hemp and mushrooms. So there are only two types of people who say mushrooms, or the other who says, wow, hemp. So yeah, we mix those two together and we get a 100% biodegradable material that after the usage will fully decompose in just 30 days.
Yeah, I've read a lot about you and your startup preparing to this. Like you have not dozens, several interviews, and I've gone through them like with
Yeah.
different. But I never found what is your personal entrepreneurship story. You like on LinkedIn, you were IT director of something, so you are from tech
Yeah.
by yourself, but went into I don't sell chemicals, but into some physical product. Why?
Yeah. There are actually few layers for in my entrepreneurship. First, my dad is an entrepreneur. He built his business probably already 20 years ago. And when I was a teenager, I saw him building that venture. And he was, of course, trying to involve me. He was giving me some books to read about business and stuff. I remember about delegation, how to delegate stuff. And of course, I was too young at that moment to understand that. And I thought that my dad is such a workaholic, such a stubborn, restless person that I don't want to be anything like him. But guess what? I'm just the same person as him right now as I grew. So this is like one layer of entrepreneurship, and the other layer is that about the materials. I actually have a master's degree in biotechnology, and I graduated from biological faculty from Kyiv National University, named by Taras Shevchenko. So it was like I actually really wanted to be doing something in terms of biology, biotechnology, and my big dream when I was graduating university was to grow organs and tissues for humans. But I really was disappointed in the science as it was at that state of the science in Ukraine. So I started to work in the IT industry. I had like, I think because of those books and my dad that I that I read in the past, I had a very good managerial skills. I was able to manage people, to manage projects, to stick to the plans, to execute and stuff. So I was like really fast. I was appreciated by the employers really fast. And I started as a project manager, leading teams, projects, and then I gradually built my career to be the head of the IT department, where I was already leading the whole department and working with the stakeholders from the other departments. But to be frank, it's like it feels that I'm just making rich people more rich.
You have seen the other side. That's like the entrepreneurship. When you have seen how entrepreneurship works, you will never want to go back.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
one way door.
Yeah, it's not bad to have a career, to work. I truly enjoyed every minute of that experience. But now I just understand that I have freedom to actually choose who to work with, how I want to work, how I want to approach things, and I see that I can actually make a change. And especially with this project, replacing something so bad with something so good. So I do really feel great about that.
Yeah. And how you came, but how you grow the first time this project? So how technology became available to you?
So I mean, probably I will back up a little bit that we are two co-founders. It is my husband and me. His name is Eugene, and we were traveling like 5 years ago. We became these digital nomads where we were working remotely, traveling, doing surfing sessions in Bali. So one day we went to do another surfing session on a beach in Bali, and we saw that it was all covered, this paradise, beautiful beach, all covered with plastics, like huge mountains. And I think many people saw pictures of that in the internet, but we saw this with our own eyes, and it was such a devastating picture that we could not think about anything else but just like talking about that all the time. And we started to just look for the solutions that are available or any potential that what we could use to create a new material. It was a little bit of a dream, and a little bit naive dream. Let's make a change. Let's create a new material. But that's how it started with all of these conversations. We started to watch videos on this topic. We started to read the scientific articles, like all the research that we could find. I was looking at the market. We quickly realized that there is no alternative that would be both have all the features that current materials have and be safe for the environment. So like it's always was a sacrifice. It's either not environmentally friendly or it doesn't have features that customers require. So as as we mentioned before, that some plastic bags can biodegrade or something can biodegrade before it's actually shipped to the customer during the time that it's in the warehouse. So then, like during all of those research, we found that hemp is actually an amazing material. It's the strongest plant, and we decided to use hemp. And there are lots of things made out of hemp. Actually, Ukrainian national clothes is made out of hemp. Even BMW i3, the interior of it is made out of hemp. So it's a pretty cool material, but we had to glue it with something. So we were like looking for something to bind this hemp. It's something that could help us glue it all together. And then somehow, again, this research, looking for some materials, we found mycelium, that it can glue everything together. And we went to the Scientific Institute in Kyiv and explained them our idea. And scientists actually knew about features of the mycelium, that it can bind something together, but they never thought about any industrial application or implementation of that. So they grew the first culture of mycelium for us and gave us just a quick training. So that's how we kind of ended up making our first samples at home on the kitchen.
And as always, in the garage,
we had a garage as well.
In our case, a kitchen, because we have no garages. Yeah. Wow, and you've got this great material. Why packaging? Why not thousands of other things?
Yeah, that's a great question actually. And what we did, I think, and this was one of the best decisions that we made. We just started to talk to our own network, to the network of the network, basically trying to find. I mean, it's called customer development most likely, but we didn't know about exact portrait of the customer at that moment. We just were able to talk to different kinds of potential customers. They were from construction. They were from some businesses. There are some restaurants, some designers, like interior designers. So like we spoke with all of this big network of our network and showed them the material, a little briefly explained what it might be, and then we were more like trying to gather their feedback. What do they think? Do they face any issues with the unsustainable materials? Do they have any needs in the sustainable material? And if they would have, like, what would be the key factors for them, key criteria? Like, do they care about the price? Do they care about the features? Do they care about aesthetics? Like, so we were just gathering this feedback, and at the same time, while working on this kind of discussions with the potential customers, we had some mentors who joined, like, or just wanted to help us, and all of them were telling us that we have to focus on something, because yeah, as you said, we wanted to do thousands of things, and that we will replace everything, we will do every single material of that. And they also, those mentors told us, look into the potential of the markets, and how easy would it be for you to enter those markets. And then, by collecting all the feedback from the potential customers, look into the market, and seeing the opportunities, we realized that this packaging market, it is much easier to enter it than the construction, for example, business, because of the regulations and amount that we need to produce for the construction business. And then from the customers, we heard the most frequently that they need packaging, and it was different kinds of packaging. Restaurants, of course, wanted the packaging for the takeaway. Businesses, like producers of some craft items, cosmetics or perfumes or electronics, they needed something to cover their product into something, just to deliver this to their customer. And then we looked into the market. It is 1 trillion euros per year, the whole packaging market. It's one of the biggest markets in the world. And then all the trends were saying that trend number one in the packaging industry is sustainable materials. And there is a huge demand still. Like it grows 15-20% every year, the sustainable segment, but still demand is much higher. So like that's when we realized this is our target. And of course we have ideas or goals to do other types of the materials, but not yet. First we are going for the packaging market and then doing everything else.
Yeah, and packaging means like boxes, not plastic bags, basically.
In our case, yes.
So it's not for, I don't know, grocery store packaging. It's for electronic store packaging, more like or less. Or in your case, cosmetics, like something like that.
Yeah, so it could be cushioning for perfumes, for example. The easy example, when you buy a perfume, it's in a cardboard bag, and then it has something inside that protects the actual bottle.
Yeah.
So this is like a very simple explanation of what we do. Then when you buy a TV set, it's also covered with the lodgements that protect the actual device. And but actually, we have an implementation or application in the food industry, because thermally insulating boxes for fish, meat, fruits, vegetables, they are made out of polystyrene, and we can do exactly the same boxes to replace, this polystyrene. But in this case, we need to apply for the certificate for the contact with food, and we know that we can do that. That we are absolutely eligible for that, but it just takes time, and we want to have customer in the food industry first, and then go for the hassle with the certification and making the products for them. And also it could be pharmaceutics, and of course pharmaceutics is a is a pretty expensive industry in terms of getting the profits there, because they use polystyrene boxes for medicine, that is when it is required to deliver it in a special temperature, or when they need to protect it. So for especially expensive medicine, I would say, for vaccines, they are all delivered in the stored in the polystyrene boxes.
Okay, so you also your material also have some temperature shield temperature shield something.
Yeah, so it is waterproof, thermal
Uh-huh.
insulating at the same level as polystyrene. So like exactly the same feature. So that's what I meant when I said that we wanted to define the material that has all the features that the current materials have, but is at the same time eco-friendly, because no one wants to sacrifice the features for the
No. Yeah.
for eco-friendliness.
That creates for me the next question. Like everyone, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Apple announced everything recyclable, whatever. But all the people I have seen who went to App Store and tried the new straps for Apple Watch, no, don't buy it. It's not usable at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the issue with all these recyclable things, that it have less features than previous ones, and we as people don't want to sacrifice it.
Yeah, exactly.
We want the same comfort, same like wearability, something like that. And you're saying that your boxes are biodegradable in 30 days. Does it mean that if iPhone was manufactured, it should be sold into these 30 days after manufacturing?
No, actually, the huge benefit of our material is that it is durable for years and years until it is broken and put into the soil. So basically, biodegradation process will not start when the packaging is like this. So like when it keeps its shape and form.
So you're not replacing this box on your table every 30 days?
No, definitely not. It can stay at the warehouse for as long as the customer needs. It can be really for years, and this material can be used in the construction industry as a replacement of thermally insulating panels. And as you know, those thermally insulating panels serve for tens of years or 50 years, something like that. So this could be also serving for that amount of years, that huge amount of years.
Yeah, but so it's like, paper. It's like when you put into the soil on the wasteland, it's like started to degrade in 30 days.
Once you put it into the soil, there are bacteria in the soil that actually start to decompose the material, because it's organic, only two components. The process is the same with all the compost or organics that you throw away, like an apple. If you throw an apple, it starts to biodegrade, and this is the same thing here. Or you can also actually compare it also to the wood. If you throw some small amount of the wood into the soil, it will also biodegrade. It will disappear in a couple of weeks.
Especially leaves.
Yeah, leaves, exactly the same thing.
Yeah. And you've created this material on the kitchen, and what was next? How you found your first customer there? Like, who paid you the first?
Yeah, so as I said, it was our best decision to go with this material to our own network, or to the network of the network, just to be visible, to be public, to talk to everyone about this who could bring any benefit. And actually, almost all of the conversations ended up with those potential customers buying some of our samples. So actually, we're selling from day one, kind of stuff.
Wow.
And officially, our first customer was the owner of the restaurant Altruist that is in Kyiv. So she bought some of the samples, and then she made an order for some additional stuff. So and we've been collaborating with them for a long time. I think in 2021 they actually made an eco-friendly renovation of the restaurant. So they also put some of our things at the restaurant, in this renovated restaurant. So yeah, it's they have a very warm place in our hearts as the first paying customers, and who were they were voting for our product with the money. It's not that someone was saying, "Yeah, you're cool guys, good luck," but they were actually paying money for our samples and for our stuff.
Wow. And on terms we touched that you started from flat on Kiev. That you being from Ukraine and started from Ukrainian market, is this plus or minus for you? Because I've lived in Kiev for dozens of years, and Yeah, we had issue with plastic. We always were talking about all this sorting, and everything. But when I moved to Europe, I have seen like, oh, there is 10 times more plastic everywhere here. And because in Ukraine there is no industry behind it to recycle plastic,
Yeah.
it's like no one cares basically. Here it's like billions invested into factories that are recycling or not recycling, doing something.
Mhm.
Governments are paying these factories, subsidizing them. So there's a huge industry here to work on. And is it for you plus that you're from Kiev and in Ukraine no one cares about plastics and everyone will go, yeah, we need to replace it. But here no one wants to replace it because billions of euros are here.
Yeah, it's a tough question actually. So what we saw in Ukraine is that yeah, it's much less usage of plastic, and as you said, like there is no industry behind that, um, and there are not that much money behind all of the waste management and stuff. There are no regulations basically in Ukraine that would force all of these things. I mean, there were no regulations, but I think a few years ago there was a regulation for the plastic bags, and I think in 2021 we were even part of the like working group to replace or to stop usage, limit usage of the polystyrene, this foam plastic, and so we would be the direct replacement of that material. But of course, priorities changed, obviously. So this is not the the main problem at the moment in Ukraine. But I think the innovativeness and naturalness of our material actually helped us to sell in Ukraine and to touch our customers. Because in Ukraine, I think everyone is looking for something new, for something interesting. And then at the same time, it was after the COVID times when everyone realized how much packaging we use and how harmful it is. That like you cannot really recycle it, even if you want to. And that's again, there is no business behind that. And even if you want to make something good for the environment, to uh, to throw the plastics into the proper recycling bin, there is nothing like that. I mean, we were doing recycling in Kiev, and we had several bins, and then we were like driving with this different types of the garbage around Kiev to put it in different bins.
Yes.
In different areas. So it was, yeah, there are no regulations, but at the same time, there is like that passion for something new, for something innovative, for something natural, and that's how actually it helped us to get into Ukrainian market really fast. And the feedback is still amazing from the Ukrainian market, and everyone is so interested and so keen to use it, to use this material. And maybe we don't have that huge problem of the plastic or polystyrene in Ukraine. It's not the biggest contributor to the ecology, but still it is. And again, the COVID times helped us to emphasize the problem. And it's one thing when you try to explain and to educate customers about the problem, but the other thing is when they actually already have that pain and they come to you through that pain and like give us something that would help us to replace this and this and this. And there are so many eco-conscious brands in Ukraine that appear, and like to every new brand that I talk to the owner of the new brands, they all have something in their DNA of the brand already that is organic, natural, eco-friendliness. But, I mean, this is the trend, and it's a good trend, and everyone follows that because I think there is a calling actually in people. Humans really have this calling at the moment that they have to do something better for the environment and to appreciate the Mother Earth, as it was in Apple when they invited Mother Earth. So then one hand they want to appreciate that, and on the other hand, let's be like pragmatic about that. Natural packaging helps to sell more, and even customers of our customers are ready to pay a little bit more for the products that are packed into the eco-friendly material. And of course, we don't talk about the super mass market, that is when the price is a key, but when it is like at least medium segment, it's easier to sell in the eco-friendly packaging.
So you went to mostly into up market and middle market.
Yeah, we started definitely with that. It was easier, of course, to sell to that kind of a market, and they have high margins, so they can, allow themselves, because obviously our material at the moment is more expensive. than fossil-based materials, but with our technology that we are building, we aim to make it the same price point. So even that will not be an issue anymore. So when we have the same price point as the fossil-based materials, we can go mass market. But at the moment, yeah, we work with the middle and upper price. And even, for example, we work with L'Oreal. So of course even L'Oreal, they have different types of the brands. They have cheaper, they have medium, and they have more like premium. And in our case, they of course choose our packaging for premium brands.
Mm-hmm.
And premium brands are also always connected with sustainability, with being more organic, being more natural. So this helps to emphasize them the whole concept that we have a product that is natural, and there's also natural packaging.
Yeah, because premium brands are vision driven, not like price driven.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. And how does, you said that like right now your manufacturing costs like are you're more expensive than plastics, obviously. But you started from kitchen in Kiev. What's your manufacturing right now? How does it look like?
Yeah, so even in Kiev, we evolved, of course, from the kitchen to the garage, then from the garage to a proper space with the production. But it still was all semi-manual production because we were still trying to figure out this technology, how we can produce this at the industrial scale. And then when the full-scale invasion started, we had to make a tough decision to relocate the business, the hardware, and the team to European Union. So right now we are in Spain. We have a big production space, actually, that we got for free from the local government for 4 years, as they've been supporting us as a sustainable project.
And next 4 years as business from Ukraine.
Yeah, I don't know if it was really, if it played any role in that, but it's fine if it played. It's okay. So we have this big production space where we are building an automated production line, and once we realized that this could be a big thing, we decided to invest everything, our resources, investments, into the development of this production line and development of the technology. So it's not a matter of building this production line; it's a matter of actually developing the whole technology behind that, and this technology will allow us to have other production spaces in other countries, and then make the material and the packaging affordable and available at any location in the world. So like this is the main thing, is that we are investing right now in this production line. We have very talented hardware engineers. They come up with such crazy ideas that on one hand might be pretty simple, but they are at the same time innovative. It's like kind of on the opposite sides, but at the same time it does work, and they use the features of the actual material. So they are not just building machines just to build machines for the sake of them, but they actually using the features of the material to make them effective, run faster, use less electricity, use less water, and then again it leads to less CO2 emissions. So like we are trying to make it all sustainable around this production.
Yeah.
So that's how it looks at the moment. This pilot production line is not 100% ready yet, but we already have replaced some of the stages of the production with this automated. So like we have right now we have 2 production lines, kind of manual and this automated, and we replaced some of the stages in the manual process with this automated production line. So like we are actually doing this the conversion to automated production line step by step. So, not waiting until we build the whole production line and we test it all. We just test it as we get it completed.
Wow. And I think that you still have a lot of prototyping. Like you have new clients every week, day, whatever, and you need to manually create them something. So manuals always will be there because you need to form.
Yeah, good point. But actually, recently we had a huge breakthrough in terms of the technology and the molding. So yeah, you're exactly right. When we have this new customer, they come up with their own shape and size of the packaging that they need to, because yes, it is all custom design, because like everyone has their own size and shape of the bottle that they want to put inside. And first we do the 3D visual model of how the packaging is going to look at the end. and we of course verify this with the customer. And then normally we were doing we were like producing plastic molds, and then we were putting material into the plastic mold, and then each packaging unit was growing in its own plastic mold. We were using those plastic molds, of course, like it grows for a few days, and we take the packaging that is ready to be used, we put again the mix there. But yeah, this is like how it worked before. But recently we had a great breakthrough, and I'm really proud of our engineering team who came up with that. Now we created automatic robots who are using only one mold, or it's not even a mold, it's like the molding tool. And they, of course, they need to make a visual side of that, how it's going to look at the end of the process, how the packaging unit is going to look. But then they create, instead of several molds, they just create one cutting mold that, and then this robot puts the material into this, I'm sorry for my voice, and putting the material into this mold, and then mold is replaced right away, and then the packaging grows without the mold. And this is something that none of our competitors can do. And this again makes it cheaper, faster for the customers, and even here more sustainable. And this will be patented as well, this technology, how we are producing this, first automatically, second without the molds.
So I just thought about, because you are not limited to like paper by boxes, like rectangular, you can do any shape.
Yeah. It can be round, rectangular, whatever.
Yeah, and it's not good for logistics, obviously, but for upmarket, it's great because they want to stand out. Yeah, and you said that you need to grow around the mold or without mold, with mold stuff. But you are basically scalability is limited in time because you can't improve the speed of growing.
Yeah, you cannot make mushrooms grow faster.
I think you can find special material to faster grow mushrooms, but they already
we can catalyze it somehow.
Yeah,
of course, with all the natural materials, it's always the same limitation, that it has its own process that you have to kind of respect and follow. In our case, it takes few days for each unit to grow, but that's where the technology, comes in. And by using the technology and all of the conveyors, spiral conveyors, and continuous process, we are just making that our customers will not feel this, pain of heat of the weight. So basically, we are doing this that every packaging unit will be delivered, like one packaging unit will be delivered every few seconds. So it's the same speed as for the foam plastic. Of course, it takes a little bit more for the first chunk to grow, because it's still the first chunk will still be a few days, but then it will be every few seconds that they get the packaging unit. So in a day we can deliver the amount that they need, or in a few days.
In a few days. No, basically, cheese and wine industry still exists, so.
Exactly. But it's actually funny that some people say, well, a few days, that's a lot of weight. But some people actually and they're even more like that. They say, wow, you can get the natural packaging in just few days. That is so fast. So it's again about perception and what experience people have. Because I do know that it's not easy to get the sustainable packaging materials and to use them. It takes time, it takes money, it takes effort. So, and there are lots of new startups and new ideas that emerge on this field, but it's not easy to work with them, and they are not able to deliver. So this is also like one of our key values. We want to deliver to our customers what they want and what they need. So I think that's why many customers still love us and want to continue to work with us.
Wow. And the last question about product itself. I will switch to how you're doing right now. How its technology, you're saying that's quite unique, but how you are saved from being copied?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, of course, we are filing patents for the technology. There will be in total 4 patents for the technology. and 1 patent for the industrial design of the packaging. And it is a worldwide patent. So of course, this is the minimum that we can do to protect ourselves. But at the same time, we actually keep some of the things we keep as a trade secret that we do not disclose, or that are not disclosed to anyone except the founding team. So we do have some secrets in the founding team, and I think there was like a legend about those Coca-Cola founders who were not allowed to travel at the same plane. So I guess maybe for us it should be the same case soon, that we should always keep those secrets safe.
Yeah. And switching to to being a startup founder and how you're doing right now, just because you researching this, I've scrolled through your pages on social, and you were everywhere. You there was no conference in the last year and a half where you were not being present, basically. It's not about startup conference, about model shows, something like that, because you're working with fashion. L'Oreal things. So I don't can say what event it was, because I don't know what it was. What is your daily life right now? How you're doing in this, on this speed, basically?
Yeah, the speed is a very good word here. Of course, it's been crazy, and it's the main thing is to maintain the mental health here. And I think everyone knows that founders are the burn rate, or the burnout rate, is the biggest or the highest among the founders of the startups. So I just know that, and I'm kind of anticipating that. So I'm trying to do some preventive measures. Basically, I'm just so driven by what I do that some people are even asking me if I am on the drugs. Because I get up really early, I work the whole day, I can maintain the level of the energy the whole day, and then I go really late to sleep. I do every other day, I do 10 kilometers runs. And I think this is also one of the things that helps me to maintain my mental health. I just go for a run and I'm not there, so basically no one can reach me.
Only if they could run.
If they could run, and every time I run faster and faster. So your point is it's a big point, that I've been to many conferences, and of course it's not only me, it's also my team who goes with me, but they rotate basically, but it's mostly me every time at every event. And it's our strategy basically to be visible, to be public. That's how we get our customers. That's how we attract investments. That's what works for us best. And I don't think that works best for every startup. In our case, it just showed the great results, and by being public, showing what we actually do, because it's much easier to attract the customer when I can give this to their hands, that look, this is what we do.
But that's why you're operating it in your camera.
Exactly. Look, that's what we do. Let's work together. And also, it's interesting enough that when I go to some conferences, I actually get reached out by the customer. So, for example, I was reached out by the Samsung. They sent me a message when I was at Slash in Helsinki last year. They sent me a message, let's meet. We are interested in the lodgements for the TV sets. And that's how we got to interact with them, to communicate and to discuss the pilot and so on. So it's just been working for us, and I see the result. And when there is a result, so of course you kind of continue doing that. But I'm still scared of the burnout a little bit. So that's what I'm trying to say, that I'm trying to make preventive measures. For example, I try to sleep at least 6-7 hours a day.
At least 6,
It's probably still not enough, I know. But and again, the running actually helps a lot. And you get the endorphins when you run. And I'm basically manifesting lots of things when I do the run. And I'm healthy in terms of my body. So I'm maintaining my physical health, and then I'm maintaining my mental health, but being conscious about what's going on, and by spending time with my beloved ones, always, and I always put away phone and computer on the weekend days. So I don't work during the weekend days. Sometimes if it's absolutely necessary. But normally, yeah,
It's
but
IT
normally,
arena. You can, yeah.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it was
But you need
necessary, but
$200,000. No?
yeah, it was. I mean, it was worth it.
250, yeah,
Yeah, to
technically.
sacrifice the weekend, it was okay. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy time, but that's what we do when you are a founder. So if you don't have that big goal or dream that you want to achieve by being a founder, probably you will not have that much energy and motivation to do that. And like I just feel that I have enough of that, and I have just not that much years to be, in that healthy mentally and physically mode. So then I'm like, I still can do that. So that's what I'm doing.
Basically, as I've seen, people like are still running marathons in 60, so
Yeah,
you're
hopefully,
good for
hopefully.
a lot of years to come and decades. Uh, yeah, that's. But you're motivated by your dream, by your vision, and since like you have seen this pile of plastic in a Bali, I don't know, 6 years ago, 7.
Yeah.
How your dream and vision evolved?
Uh, yeah, it was at that moment it was, like kind of very naive dream that we can change something. And for some reason, this phrase "make a change" always resonated with me personally. Like, and make a change in everything, and even in the small things, how you talk to to the waiter, to the waitress at the restaurant.
Yeah,
It's also a change. If you're being kind and nice and supportive and so on, this also makes a change. So I was like always had this phrase that make a change with everything you do. And this doing this material definitely makes a huge change, but I don't want to be just like saying this hypothetical things. And I care about the environment, I do care about it, but I definitely see the business potential there. And I see the well, basically money behind that. And it could be both. So like also I think that we always can get both. And in this case we can get both. We can get the money and we can make it great product for the environment. And this is what drives me, this idea that we can get the material that is both that brings money, makes our customers happy, and makes mother earth happy as well. So like how I see that is that of course we are not able at the moment to, or even in the next 5 years, to replace the whole polystyrene in the packaging industry, but at least we can obtain 1 billion euros market share of the polystyrene packaging market. And then we can move on to the other materials. For example, we can replace thermal insulating panels that are also made from polystyrene. This and this is also like just a huge market. Then we can do the leather for the fashion industry, and they also like striving for that, like give us some alternative of the leather.
leather.
Yeah,
Wow.
we
So
can actually make mushroom leather.
mushroom. Where I can sign up for case for iPhone.
There are startups who are doing leather from mushroom, and of course there are many other alternatives for the leather, because there's just so many tones of it are used. Yeah, so like how we see that we can replace so many materials, and we can provide this technology that can allow to replace those harmful materials and make this mushroom based materials or sustainable materials a new norm. So that's basically where we are moving ourselves. This is a new norm.
So you are more technology provider, like in future than
Yep.
manufacturing.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how we see ourselves. We don't want to be producers of the packaging for for the lifetime of the
Yeah.
startup. But we need to build production line at the moment, and we will be producing for quite some time still, because we will need to do another iterations on that technology, and we can do this only by producing the material, the products by ourselves. At the end, in the future, definitely we are going to scale by selling the technology and being like, or licensing the technology, franchising.
Basically, you're going to be McDonald's of packaging. Like actually,
That's a good.
plastics are too, because my first job was in a factory creating plastic. But they can ship these
Yep.
grains of plastics to every
Yep.
mold, and you can not ship in product itself you're shipping, manufacturing, like ice cream
Manufacturing
machine of
line.
McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly.
famous
That's
famous
true.
one.
And we actually
Wow.
have even some packaging producers who are reaching out to us
Yeah.
because they are losing their customers to the sustainable packaging alternatives, and they want us to provide this technology to them. So, like, it's of course it's too early to talk about that, but we do see the potential of very good exit here with those packaging companies.
Yeah. And like after your message like 2 minutes ago, all the Apple environmental people like, okay, we need to buy this startup.
Yeah,
We will do everything that they will hear it.
exactly.
They should hear that, because like iPhone package is great, but still,
But still, yeah,
a lot of plastics inside it. Wow, that you're not going to manufacture it. That's a huge vision, that you are creating technology you can spread all over the world on spending not your money. Not
exactly.
spending
Yeah,
money of all these
yeah,
companies that are right now doing plastics, and they just can replace the very houses from the old machines that were
yeah. With
manufactured in
our,
Germany
yeah.
40
Mhm.
years ago, basically, at least. And with your new ones that will grow and be, yeah, that's my question. uh you've mentioned that also your manufacturing process is very sustainable.
Yeah.
So need to use like, because that's question always interesting, because we're
Mm.
talking about electric cars, but
Yeah,
manufacturing electric cars like waste of
is exactly.
thousands
Yeah.
of gas consuming cars. And so you're getting rid of all the plastics, all the what's your goal in manufacturing process?
So we, in terms of like manufacturing, we are comparing ourselves to polystyrene producers. And to produce 1 kilogram of polystyrene, it is required, or the emissions are basically per 1 kilogram of polystyrene are, I think, 12 kilograms of CO2,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think something like the same 10 liters of water. So you see, when you produce 1 kilogram of polystyrene, you already spent 12, send
Yeah.
12 kilograms of CO2 emissions to the environment, and then you lost 10 liters of the water.
Okay.
And in our case, how we built our production is that it will be only 1 kilogram of CO2 emissions, and we are actually not going to use water, because like to produce it, well, there is a little bit tweak to that. So to produce 1 kilogram of our material, we do need to use 2 liters of the water. But at the end of the process, we dry our packaging, and we can get back this
Yeah,
water to this
using it.
process.
Yeah.
So we are just reusing it. So like it will be 95% of the water reused in the process.
So instead of plastics, you can grow all your things in space, basically.
You can say that, yeah.
Let's go to station. Yeah, with your small your
Yeah.
laboratory.
But funny about space, actually. Well, Elon Musk is not a person to talk about anymore.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he had an idea that he wanted to build buildings on Mars using mycelium and mushrooms. So like there is a potential there as well. Not with him, of course, but overall.
We can leave him there.
Exactly.
That's a great goal. Actually, could be.
Yep. Yep. Build him a
Everyone will
mushroom
agree, and
fountain.
he too.
Yep.
Yeah, and basically, in like going crazy futuristic, you can grow buildings from your material,
Yes.
and but not very fast.
Oh, actually, the timing could be the same. It still will be a couple of days to build basically materials that you can just. I see someone comment S.Lab Mars real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's max how. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we can grow construction materials. It will be the same time to produce them, just a couple of days. But then it's. I think when we are when we are going to go to Mars, we will have enough capacity to grow as much construction materials as we need to. So like at the moment, the only limitation is the size and amount of the construction materials that we can grow. Because packaging units, they are mostly smaller than the construction materials, just physically the size is smaller. But when it is construction, these are huge panels. And we do not have like limitation in terms of technology. We can build any size, any shape. But in terms of, like the size of the production space, well, it would be a little bit tougher to solve that issue.
Yeah, because as I was always fascinated by from childhood. We lived in a neighborhood where we had the first building, and all the buildings around us were created. And now I have seen that building like evolved a lot. It's from panels that were prepared somewhere in the factory. Right now, it's like everything over here is I don't know. Materials from special cars.
There are many startups there as well in the construction industry to grow faster, to make it more sustainable. So construction business is also going to have some shift and transition towards eco-friendliness and sustainability.
But we never thought about that. Right now, it could be on some great real estate conferences, but it's not in media basically, like plastic is.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. Actually, we have a question from a follower on LinkedIn. I will read it to you, and I think you can see it, but I will read it to all our listeners. It's from Ilya Gindin. He founder of mycelium-based startup. I think you know everybody. He's keen to understand your approach to competing with styrofoam. Styrofoam is an extremely cheap product, so competing with it on price seems challenging. While Ilya understands the potential of mycelium packaging in mid-priced and higher product segments, it's worth noting that these are areas where styrofoam is less commonly used. Could you share your thoughts on this?
Yeah, good question.
Because he is from this industry, he knows what to ask.
Ilya is from St. Petersburg, so I met him in Estonia a few years ago. This is a great question, and I get this very often about the price, and that's totally understandable. So we compete with the styrofoam or polystyrene or foam plastic that is custom designed and is created specifically for the shape and the form of the final product. And even with the manual production, because the raw material is so cheap, we produce it just like 50% more expensive than what they would currently be using. But with the automated production line, we target to make it the same price point. But there is actually a cherry on top for all of this. Customers are actually ready to pay 20-40% more for the sustainable alternatives, because again, it emphasizes their organic, natural, and helps them to sell more. So that's what we can use. I hope our customers are not listening to that. But that's
potential customers will.
But that's the insights that everyone in the industry knows and is telling us that we are actually ready to pay more if you provide this packaging for us. And of course, we will not be able to compete, I think, ever with the styrofoam that is, just general size and like those small nuts that are just produced in a crazy amount. But it was true. But at the same time, the fossil-based materials are becoming more expensive because all of the crisis and stuff. So like, on one hand, yes, plastic and fossil-based materials are cheap, but they are also becoming more expensive, and that's what's going to happen. And then there are so many regulations that make it actually more expensive to use the plastic and the foam plastic or polystyrene instead of something that is out of scope of those regulations, like our material.
That's now I have one more question. That's like you're saying that plastics and styrofoam, they are not good for environment, and we have an experience that governments are taxing products that are not good for environment, like tobacco, alcohol. They're like they are too crazy expensive in some countries just because of the taxes, not because they cost. Is there something like that for packaging?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was, I mean, in Europe, they started to work towards European Green Deal, and they have a goal to make Europe climate neutral continent by 20. Well, I don't remember the moment, 2030 or 2050. If it's 2030, it's pretty soon.
Okay.
And then it means that they have to eliminate plastic, polystyrene, and so much more, because like there are so many industries that are causing CO2 emissions and stuff. And then every continent also has something like this European Green Deal. In the United States, they also recently they I don't remember the name again because it's just so fresh, but something like European Green Deal that regulates lots of stuff that will be used. And the goal again is to make United States the climate neutral continent. In Asia, of course, they have the same. Even in UAE, they have something like that. That we want to be climate neutral, and here are the actions that we are going to make. And always, always, one of the actions is to put taxes on usage of plastic, polystyrene, styrofoam, and and then that's what makes it more expensive. And it's not even tax. It's not only taxes. It's also reporting. It's also like being considered not green for the companies who use this material. So basically, government is creating all of the conditions that make it kind of impossible or very expensive to use those materials. And so, like in Europe, there is this European Green Deal that started this whole thing. And last year, there was a directive from European Union government that all the packaging has to be recyclable or usable. And then every country has to utilize this directive and put regulations and taxes in each country in terms of those materials. So like right now for us, it's the perfect timing because companies already understand that transition is happening right now. And if they don't implement new materials right now, in a few years, they will be forced and it will be much more expensive for them. And then if they don't succeed in this change, in the transition to the new materials, they will have to, comply with those regulations and those taxes, and they will have to pay money and and then again considered to not to be green, which is not kind of nice at the moment.
But that also means that there will be a huge competition for you.
Yeah, I mean, we are not afraid of that because we are already so much more ahead than everyone else who is getting to this market.
Biotechnology, the simplest.
Yeah. And also the demand is so big that if there will be even a new startup every day, still demand is there because customers are desperately looking for the alternatives. And that's the quote. That's what they say to me. We are desperately looking for something to replace this polystyrene or this plastic, or and like when I'm talking about us being a direct replacement of polystyrene or foam plastic, we also can replace other packaging materials, like not directly, but for example, we have customers and cases where they start using our material instead of cardboard or instead of the plastic itself. So this is just like a switch. So yeah, of course, it's so easy to explain that we are doing replacement of polystyrene, but in a matter of fact, we come up with packaging solutions that can help our customers to protect their product and to deliver it to the customers. So that's what packaging has to do. So yeah, I think those new startups and this competition, it's actually kind of good, because this will create more and more solutions, and they can buy our technology, and that's how we also develop and grow.
And actually, that they will develop more awareness of what are you doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. As always, that helps a lot. Okay, the last question. As always, for me, it's fascinating. What's your right now up to the point? What is your greatest story? That you're proud of right now? So I don't know.
I always say that I think it's still ahead of me.
yeah, I know that's yet the story yet.
Yeah, yes, till the moment. I mean, of course, the success at the IT arena is a huge win, and I still probably didn't digest it fully. What happened? That first of all, we won the IT arena, and then we were able to raise investments, and it was super fast due diligence. It was very intensive, I will say that. But at the end, we got the result. So, like, of course, I'm super proud of that, and I actually someone asked me, how do I feel about, the swing and getting the investments? And I said that I feel really proud of my team because of the team and the technology that they came up with, and all of the efforts that they put into marketing, into sales, into business development, into everything, into operations. I felt so confident at the stage pitching us, because I know that behind my back they are there, and that's what makes me so confident and proud. So I think this is, I'm proud of my team, I would say, and then I think everything what's, all of these awards and things, they just, because of the team, it leads to that. So this is like on the business side, but I don't want to, make myself only a business person. Of course, I'm super proud of having 2 kids. I have 2 daughters, and this is something that I don't usually disclose.
That's unexpected.
Yeah, I know. I don't need to disclose that publicly a lot. Yeah, so they are 9 and 5 years, and since they are girls, like I'm a very big fan and supporter of the female entrepreneurship and all of the education and stuff. So I think me also being the female founder, being CEO, sets the example for them. So I'm also like super proud of having them.
And now I'm super proud of you that you also have kids and doing this crazy stuff with 2 not very small but still young kids. Wow, that's huge.
Thank you. Yeah, and it was a little bit of exclusive,
yeah. But I think you understood that I appreciate people who are families, and you basically started like a family, this business.
Exactly.
With your husband, and he's still working on the startup with you. Yes.
Yeah, he is CTO actually, and
CTO,
like he's
okay.
the technical guy who is doing all of this. He's not alone, of course. He has
We have a team right now. We don't understand this.
So we are partners everywhere in the business, in the family, and these are his kids as well.
Yeah. They have responsibilities too.
Yeah.
Wow, could open a huge amount of other questions, but we will not go into them today.
Okay.
For the next time, for the next podcast, whatever.
Sure. Would be happy to be here again. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for your story. That's, I sometimes I just don't have words to express. You're doing great things for humanity from Ukraine, basically, from the company that grew from Ukraine, and growing fast like mushrooms.
That's very good. I will use this as my picture. We grow as fast as mushrooms.
Oh yeah.
After the rain. So like basically investments are the rain for us.
Wow. Cool. On that point we should end. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
That's good.
Thank you for your
much.
time. I appreciate that you spent 1 hour and 3 minutes of your time to talk.
I was really happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.